Hi, I'm Craig.
And I'm Brittany.
Welcome to the Boddington Experience. On this episode, we're going to go to some of the most pristine wilderness in North America.
I'm going to be hunting the Rocky Mountain goat with my dad, just like he did with his dad over 40 years ago.
We're going to go to the mountains of northern British Columbia and hunt with Ron Fleming of Love Brothers and Lee, a traditional outfit with more than 45 years experience in some of my favorite game country.
You're going to love this episode. Stay with us.
This episode of BODX is brought to you by Global Sportsman's Network.
Craig Boddington, decorated Marine, award-winning writer, hunter, adventurer. He's explored 6 continents to hunt over 300 species of big game, and he's not done yet. This is the Boddington Experience.
Our adventure starts at the Floatplane Base near Smithers, British Columbia. Keeping weight down is critical, so hard gun cases and town clothes are left behind. You better think light. Sleeping bag, 2 sets of clothes, good boots, and that's about all you need. All right. Love Brothers and Lee's guide territory lies 185 air miles north of Smithers. A wonderful flight through true northern wilderness.
Hello, my name is Ron Fleming, and welcome to British Columbia. I've been outfitting for 44 years. I was figuring out this morning, I've outfitted for probably 1,200 hunters from around the world and guided 250, 300 of them myself. So over the years, there's a lot of stories to tell. Some good, some bad, some funny, and most of them are funny because we make them that way.
One of the advantages to a long-established outfit like Ron and Brenda's Love Brothers and Lee is the camps have been developed over the years, truly a home in the middle of nowhere. Well, Brittany, we've got 2 of the very first legendary Arms Works rifles made by my old friend Mark Bansner.
Mark Bansner and his wife Rosalind started making guns in 1980, and since then Mark's become one of the most respected guys in the industry.
This is his own high-precision stock. It's one of the really great foam-filled fiberglass stocks, very light, very strong. But the action's always been a problem, so with some partners, they bought the Ed Brown action. It's a control round feed action like the Mauser, dual opposing locking lugs, but a good heavy extractor. Not a long Mauser, but spring-loaded, and it's control round feed. The cartridge feeds up out of the magazine and is trapped by the bolt, so it's carried into the chamber.
Yeah, I'm shooting the 280 Remington, and I got 139 grain SST Superformance. This should be a goat-killing machine.
All right, let's take another shot.
All right. And it's about 2 inches above the bull.
No, that's good.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Why is BC special for hunting?
The hunting is all traditional. It's either horseback or it's backpack. They're the only 2 ways to hunt this country. This is really the last bastion of traditional North American hunting the way it was done 50 or 100 years ago. Anytime you can get in northern British Columbia, this is really God's country. It's beautiful. This is our first morning in paradise, but temperature's fine. Got some serious clouds up there, and the goats are up in the clouds, and we're not going to go after them until we can see them. Ron, tell us about this Caribou Basin where we're going.
We've got about a 1,500-foot climb. It's a high open basin with a lot of low Arctic birch and good feed, open country, place at Caribou Lake.
Ron, the mountain caribou is probably the toughest thing you have to find in your area.
Yeah, right at this time. they go in a swing, and they're in the downward of their swing right now in the last few years, and you just got to keep looking.
Yeah. I got the bear. He's right here on this first slope. He's a good sized bear, and he's definitely not rubbed, but it doesn't look like he's furred out. Well, we're probably 2/3 of the way to the secret caribou hotspot where there may or may not be any caribou. But got a little storm coming, so got a nice place out of the wind. We're gonna sit it out here. Hi, Craig and Brittany here to tell you about our favorite conservation organization, Safari Club International, First for Hunters.
Join us at the greatest hunting convention of them all, SCI's International Hunters Convention in Las Vegas.
As a member, you receive great benefits, including 7 issues of Safari magazine and 12 issues of Safari Times. And you can participate in SCI's record-keeping system, which produces the most complete record book in the entire world, containing 833 species around the world. SCI is the most active and most successful organization in the world in protecting hunters' rights, not only here in North America, but around the world.
Join today at scifirstforhunters.org.
Hey, we'll look forward to seeing you at the convention in Las Vegas. Well, we got Caribou Tracks.
They look fairly fresh. They
Yeah.
look like they've been rained in.
Well, it's more than one set. This is old, but these are fairly fresh. Haven't been rained in. They could be anywhere. Let's see how small. Pretty small. That's a cow. Females also have horns. Let's get up here on the edge where we can see both sides in glass for a little bit.
Well, it was a nice hike. We saw lots of tracks. I bumped this caribou cow here. You know, better luck next time.
That's it. Time to start the circle the other way. You know, one of the secrets to glassing is you've got to just make sure you get comfortable and steady and actually look and sort of take the hillside apart piece by piece by piece. Now that's as good as it gets. Yeah, that's a goat for sure.
by himself. He looks like a big body. Looks like it just turned its head. I'm seeing a straight nose on this thing, but it's awfully far. There's no way to know for sure.
On this week's Medical Minute, Dr. Sadaf Khan is going to talk to us about dehydration. This can be a serious problem with hunting, and you can tell us some of the signs and symptoms to look for.
Well, certainly dehydration is a problem out in the field. Most people don't consider it as a serious problem because they're worried about everything else, obviously, out in the wilderness. But things to look out for, 50 to 70% of your body is made out of water, so you want to make sure that you're replenishing this at all times. Things to look out for, if you're not urinating as much, that can be a sign of becoming a little dry and dehydrated, but there is a spectrum again. So if you're mild to moderate, you'd be looking at a heart rate, which can be normal, but if it's really elevated, that's severe dehydration. You would also want to look at the production of urine. If you're not producing any urine, that's severe dehydration. Also, looking at somebody's skin, if you look at the turgor of the skin, you want to see how well hydrated it is. You can certainly pinch the skin. Normally it would go back very quickly like this on you, Brittany, because you're well hydrated. If this tenting stays up in the air and takes a long time to go down, then you know that you're volume depleted essentially, so you need to get some more volume into you. So another way of checking is something we call capillary refill. You press the fingertip and it blanches a white color, but you see it comes back to pink very quickly. That's because you've got good volume. It's replenishing that area with blood. If you didn't have volume when you were dehydrated, that whiteness would stay for a longer time, and usually above 4 seconds is abnormal.
And what can cause dehydration?
First thing is not drinking enough fluids, and that's something that everybody needs to essentially be aware of, especially if you're going outside in the heat and you're doing strenuous activities. So obviously you want to supplement your fluid losses with oral fluids, but you want to make sure that you're also replacing the electrolytes that you're using. Certainly sweat, you're losing sodium and potassium and chloride, which can lead to other problems such as muscle cramping.
I know a lot of people recommend electrolytes for when you're dehydrated. What is your opinion on something like an electrolyte supplement?
So in most situations, just drinking plain water alone will be fine if you're supplementing with food and snacks, because that will add to the salt in your diet. But if you don't have access to food or regular snacks, then certainly electrolytes mixed in with your plain water will certainly help. But what you want to avoid are diuretics, such as tea and coffee, which will, diurese you, and that's not what you want. And also alcohol. I would certainly avoid the alcohol to prevent dehydration. I'm Dr. Sadaf Khan. I want you to enjoy the great outdoors safely, and I want you to take your Global Rescue card with you.
Ron, we got a little fog up on top. What do you think we ought to try to do this morning?
Coming up from the bottom, first off, they're always looking, and you got to take a peek once in a while to make sure he's still there, and they're going to catch you. Their eyes are like 8-power binoculars, and any little movement, that's what they're laying up there watching for.
We saw goats from camp every day, but the trick was glassing a goat in a position we could get to and bedded so that after a 4 to 6 hour climb, he was likely to still be there. Finally, we have a billy where we want him, so it's time to strike out.
Okay, Brittany, I think what we'll do is looks like it's fairly open here. We'll cut through here and up through that timber and up into the aspens. The goat, you can see him right up there about 3 hours away. Yeah. But we get through there and it looks like it's halfway open to go all the way.
Sounds good. Let's try it.
Let's give it a try.
Hold a little lower on the shoulder.
Can I?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, you got him.
Great shot, Brittany.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Well done.
There he goes.
After the shot, the second goat moved off very slowly.
We did her, old man.
Good job, old timer.
Two old guys, eh? The young one.
Hey, thank you so much.
That's a good goat. That's a good goat.
Well, thanks, guys. I've always wanted one of these goats. This has been a lifetime dream for me, and I can't even believe we accomplished it.
Yeah, we talked about it for a long time. You made a tough climb, and Ron, you knew from clear back in camp this was a mature goat. What were you seeing?
What I was looking at more than anything was the size of the goat. Was a good-sized goat, and looking at the face of a mature billy, got a long, straight face instead of a younger one has a dish in their nose.
Okay.
And when this here one was turning, we had a good view of him this morning, and there was no question that he was a nice, mature billy. He's better than what I thought he was.
Brittany, these two legendary arms guns we have, they're the first rifles that have actually come out of their plant with actions that they manufactured.
Right.
To my knowledge, your goat is the very first animal taken with the legendary arms rifle.
It worked perfectly, and with this muzzle brake on it, there's literally no recoil.
Yeah.
So I mean, I watched the bullet hit. I knew I could keep my eye on the goat. I wasn't rocked at all, so I was able to continue, with my sights right on him. I'm more than happy with the performance of the gun, and how cool is it that we can say we made history?
Yeah, you made history. It's a great hunt. Well done, kiddo.
Thank you.
Good job.
It was great.
Thank you.
An interesting thing that they do here is take blood samples for genetic research. It's a voluntary program, but it helps them keep track of what's going on with these goats in the area. This one just came in from another hunter. Their hooves are actually convex instead of concave, like most even-toed ungulates. So you can see these pads are actually squishy. And what happens is when they step on a rock, it forms around the rock, enabling them to step in places that most can't. And it actually has a scent gland inside that leaves a scent that other goats can follow. So if a young goat gets stranded out on a cliff, he can actually sniff the ground and find out where the older goats have stood. Well, we're here getting the goats inspected so that we can travel with them. One great thing about hunting in Canada is that you can take your trophies home as long as you do it right. So Rick, tell us why we have to do this. What is the process in Canada?
It applies to resident hunters as well. So the compulsory inspection is for all goat, sheep, caribou, grizzly bear, cougars, and in the north part of the Skeena region we have moose on compulsory inspection. It's one component of the overall wildlife management. So in terms of wildlife management, you would have things like your hunting regulations. One component is the inventory information. And then a third thing is the harvest data. We want everybody to report so that the government has a really good handle on how many animals, whether male or female, and where they're being taken.
So what do you think the average age is of the goats that are being taken?
For males, it's probably 3 or 4, maybe 5. For females, it's more 6, 7, or 8. What we do is count the annular rings. So if you look really close, you can see the rings here, right there, and each segment represents 1 year's worth of growth. But for goats, they have an annular ring in here that doesn't show up. So this is actually its 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So it's a 5-year-old goat. Pictures of it. We'll get your signature.
Okay.
It's all official.
This is a goat that I never thought I'd be able to get to, let alone get, and it's just a dream come true.
You know, goat was my first animal in the North Country, and I was really happy that was your first animal up here.
It's really nice symmetry that you did your first goat with your dad and I'm doing my first goat with mine.